Hi everyone, my name is Chirag Dul and I'm a Principal PMM for Amazon QuickSight. And today I'll be talking about reinventing business intelligence with Amazon QuickSight and Q. In this session, we will talk about why Amazon QuickSight and how QuickSight works. We will talk about some of the new features of Amazon QuickSight, including our latest NLQ service, Amazon QuickSight Q, and discuss some customer use cases. So let's jump right in. Now let's start our discussion with the current challenges around existing BI tools that you are already using or are considering. With the new way of consumption of data insights, customers want to scale BI to hundreds or thousands of users. They really want to democratize BI without having to deal with the administrative challenges and high costs of managing server capacity. This means that we need to rethink how the modern BI tools of today need to be architected and priced. Most BI solutions in the market are server-based, whether on-prem or setting up instances on the cloud, meaning that they are challenging to scale and require additional infrastructure setup and ongoing maintenance. These solutions also have restrictive pay-per-server pricing, which either doesn't fully meet the needs of end users with slow load times of dashboards, or it can be expensive with server capacity that goes unused. Also, these tools need to be easy to securely integrate with customer data that could be residing in data stores such as data lakes, lakehouses, or databases that are built on AWS. Additionally, machine learning is becoming more mainstream, but even with the increasing adoption, it's still in its infancy. For ML to have the broad impact that we think it can have, it has to get easier to do and easier to apply than what's offered by existing BI tools. Amazon QuickSight is a serverless, embeddable, machine learning powered BI service built for the cloud. Now, QuickSight is a browser-based BI tool enabling you to provide rich data insights via visualizations, dashboards, and narratives that are accessible on any device, including via mobile applications. You can also schedule QuickSight to deliver your data insights via email or attach a PDF to it. You can schedule these to go out on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis to your users. And additionally, QuickSight supports row-level security, enabling you to select who are the right users to send what data to. Now, how is QuickSight really differentiated from other BI tools in the market? Well, we think there are 4 ways that it's really differentiated. First, QuickSight has a serverless architecture that automatically scales to tens of thousands of users without the need to set up, configure, or manage your own servers. Also, we are seeing a huge trend for customers moving away from standalone BI tools and into embedding analytics right within the applications and websites that their users primarily use. With QuickSight, you can quickly embed interactive visualizations and analytics into your applications, websites, or portals. QuickSight provides a rich set of APIs and SDKs that allow you to easily customize the look and feel of these data insights for your users so that these analytics look seamless within your application. Machine learning is becoming more mainstream, but even with the increasing adoption, it's still in its infancy. For machine learning to have the broad impact that we think it can have, it needs to get easier, as we spoke about earlier. That is why we have added machine learning capability to QuickSight to make it easier for data and business analysts to add machine learning predictive insights right into their dashboards and visualizations and reports without having to deal with specialized ML tools. And last but not the least, with QuickSight's new machine learning powered natural language query capability, QuickSight Q, you can simply use plain English and enter the question in the search bar and get answers in seconds. This makes it easy in saving weeks of efforts from our BI teams and really delights your end users because they are looking for answers to these ad hoc questions in minutes, not within days or weeks. Now let's look at these differentiated capabilities in more detail. Traditional BI is licensed by and limited to a fixed amount of hardware resources. Therefore, more users, more concurrency, or more complex queries impact performance across all users. This requires more capacity, which means a higher cost to be added, leading to more expensive infrastructure that you have to maintain. In a traditional BI model, the BI team has to worry about buying more capacity than what they need, or deal with a slower performance. With QuickSight, users have access to the power and scale of AWS Cloud. Users get consistent performance, no matter the concurrency or the scale of the users, whether it's hundreds or thousands of tens of thousands of users who are currently using the BI tool at the same time. It also ensures that your users don't have to deal with slow dashboard performance during peak hours, when multiple BI users are accessing the same data visualizations or data sets. And with the pay-per-session pricing, you only pay when your users access the dashboards or reports, which makes it cost-effective for deployments with lots of users. With QuickSight, there are no upfront costs or annual commitments, making it a truly cloud-native BI tool. Now, at re:Invent 2019, we launched new capabilities in Amazon QuickSight that make it easy to embed analytics into your applications and portals, empowering your customers to gain deep insights into your application's data. Unlike building your own analytics solution, which can be time-consuming and hard to scale, QuickSight, with its rich set of APIs and SDKs, allows you to quickly embed interactive dashboards and visualizations in your applications without compromising on the ability to personalize the look and feel of these new features. We have recently announced new embedding capabilities that allow you to do even more with QuickSight Embedded Analytics. With this launch, QuickSight also provides namespaces, a multi-tenant capability that allows you to easily maintain data isolation while supporting multiple workloads within the same QuickSight account. For example, if you're an independent software vendor or an ISV, you can now assign dedicated namespaces to different customers within the same QuickSight account. This allows you to securely manage multiple customer workloads as users within one namespace, and they can only discover and share content with other users within the same namespace without exposing any data to other parties. Additionally, QuickSight now allows you to embed dashboard authoring within applications, allowing you to empower your end users to create their own visualizations and reports. These ad hoc data analyses and self-service data exploration capabilities mean you don't have to repeatedly create custom dashboards based on requests from your end users, and can provide end users with even greater agility and transparency with their data. This capability helps create product differentiation and upsell opportunities within customer applications. QuickSight leverages AWS's proven machine learning capabilities, making it easy for BI teams to perform advanced analytics. For example, what-if analyses, anomaly detection, ML-based forecasting, churn prediction, etc., without any prior data science experience. You can use QuickSight's pre-built models or bring your own ML models from Amazon SageMaker, which integrates in QuickSight with a few clicks. QuickSight also uses ML to automatically generate a summary of your dashboard in plain English, which interprets and describes key insights from your data so everyone has a consistent and shared understanding. customers are already benefiting from ML out of the box with QuickSight. These human-readable narratives enable you to quickly interpret the data in a shared dashboard and focus on the insights that matter most. This is how QuickSight works. So you can connect QuickSight with your data source, and from there you can build your dashboards and analyses and share that with your users via interactive dashboards, email reports, or embed them in your favorite applications. QuickSight also has an in-memory data engine called Spice that exists to maximize performance, to take the load off your data warehouse or your database. As more concurrent users are added, Spice replicates the data across your fleet so that you get the exact same performance. Now, looking at the features we have launched in the last year, we have had a rapid pace of innovation where we have been launching new features in 2-week release cycles. And each release cycle, we have added about 2 to 4 features every couple of weeks. I've highlighted some of the bigger items from last year, including multi-tenancy, embedded authoring, folders for managing content at macro level, column level security, as well as more regions. Now let's go a little bit deeper into a few of them. We launched 7 new visual types last year. For example, box plots, which are common in the finance industry and use cases, stacked area charts, Sankey diagrams, and funnel diagrams. These new visual types enhance and provide richness to your data visualizations. Additionally, we also added the capability of governance via folders. Folders make it easier for you to manage, access, and govern your datasets. This can be the content that you have stored in the datasets, such as dashboards or analyses, etc. Here, I have a high-level folder across the whole company, and then there are breakdowns per department. For example, the marketing department, the sales, or the finance department. If you notice the leftmost tree, you will see that in terms of user accesses, the marketing executives and marketing authors or readers only need to get access to the marketing folders, which consists of the marketing dashboards and visualizations. Similarly, sales and finance can easily have their own sets of permissions for the dashboards they need access to. Another feature at data security level is column level security, which a lot of modern BI tools don't provide today. Now, we have had row level security in QuickSight for quite some time, but column level gets to the point of individual fields for users for only some users to see and not for others. And this applies for authors as well as for readers. As an example, let's say there is a salary column that you only want the folks in HR group to see, but not for others. So column level really makes it easy for you to set up those field level permissions for the users. We briefly mentioned this earlier. Previously, you could embed canned dashboards, but now with embedded authoring, it provides power to end users to make their own dashboards in the same seamless experience of an embedded dashboard within the product. And with multi-tenancy features, it means that let's take the example of an ISV who provides embedded QuickSight dashboards via their product to multiple customers. That ISV can now isolate dashboards, data, and users for their different customers within the same account, so that when they go into seeing the data insights, those users can see and access only their own data and not of others. QuickSight Q is a new NLQ-based BI capability that allows business users to just type their question using natural language and get answers in seconds. Now, I want you to think about this. How many of you in the last months have had a situation where you were in a meeting and someone asked a question about data, but no one knew the answer on top of their head? This happens all the time. Let's say a sales leader has an ad hoc data question when they're looking at the sales dashboard. They want to know the sales trend in California versus New York this year, but that data is not available in the dashboard. So they ask their BI team if they can help pull this data for them really quickly. The BI engineer or analyst then responds by asking the sales leader to cut a ticket, and which they will add to their backlog of work. Obviously, the sales leader needs this data instantly. So from their perspective, this is an urgent business request. But because BI teams are often thinly staffed, the BI person or the BI leader is not able to quickly get to it as they are focused on another sprint. So because of the backlog, it could take probably a few days or a few weeks for them to provide this answer. So the two recurring themes we constantly hear from customers are: first, how can we help our users get to the answers faster? Let's face it, it's a problem today and it can take days or weeks for business users to get the answers they're looking for. The second problem customers need help with is that they want to enable their business users to be more self-sufficient, because BI teams are often thinly staffed. In that way, the growing volume of ad hoc data requests can be solved in a much efficient way without adding a lot of operational overhead. Amazon QuickSight Q is a machine learning powered capability that uses state-of-the-art semantic and natural language processing to answer your business questions instantly, saving weeks of effort from BI teams having to build predefined data models and dashboards. Q is optimized to understand business language that you use every day as a part of your job, including phrases related to sales, marketing, retail, or other popular areas. For example, if a sales leader wants to identify product categories that brought in the highest revenue in a region, they can simply ask, what are the best-selling categories in California? Q will understand that best-selling means highest revenue and return the top-ranked categories in California by revenue. One thing we have learned is that many users don't know all the data that they have access to, what dashboards are out there, and what is and what is not available in those dashboards. So a critical design consideration and a product decision for us early on has been, while developing this capability, is that the users must be able to ask their question across all their data. To ask a question, they shouldn't have to first pick a data set or a dashboard, because that defeats the purpose. Q also has a built-in data dictionary that provides autocomplete suggestions, performs spell checks, and suggests acronyms and synonyms that can be customized to be business specific. Also, if Q gets an answer wrong, you can provide feedback to Q to correct that answer. This feedback is passed on to the BI team who can fine-tune the data model or add more data. But frankly, this is a hard problem to solve. Make no mistake, which is why nobody has really done it up to this point, until now. When we think about natural language queries, there are really two aspects to it. There is query understanding and data understanding. Let's start with query understanding, which is all about parsing the language structure in the question and understanding users' intent. So for a question like, show me weekly revenue week over week for California compared to New York in 2020, Q needs to determine that weekly is an intent not only to group data by week, but also implies that the user is looking for a trend. That revenue is the metric to aggregate by, that California and New York are states, that compared to implies you want to see those trends side by side, and lastly, you want to filter to the year 2020. So Q needs to interpret and understand all of these intents captured in the question, but also deal with the fact that the same question can be asked in many different ways. In order to fully understand this question and give an answer, Q also needs to know what's in the data. The challenge with data is that in its raw form, there is no semantics to it. It's just rows and columns. They are messy, cryptic, and have pre-built aggregation and business logic that only the BI team understands. There's also probably 7 other data sets that look similar to this one. The challenge for Q is making sense out of all these data sets and identify what data to query. To solve these challenges, I wanted to share this sorry, I'm going to restart this slide. This is slide number 30. To solve these challenges, I wanted to share this chart, which gives you a 30-second foot view of what happens under the hood when users ask a question. In order to generate the answer, which is what you see on the far right, Q first needs to identify the intents captured in the question. It needs to be able to know which data sets need to be queried and how to link the intents identified in the first step to the elements in the data. To accomplish all of that, a knowledge layer that describes the underlying physical data schema is used throughout to inform our machine learning models. The output of all of the data is that it's then used to create what we call an intent representation, which is a SQL-like syntax that is then used to generate the visualizations in the UI. Now, through this explanation, as you learned that Q uses state-of-the-art NLQ and ML technology, so we are really excited about the QuickSight Q service, and you can sign up for the preview at the below URL. Now, I would like to talk about a few of QuickSight's customer use cases. First is Capital One, which is, of course, in the financial service industry. Capital One have adopted QuickSight as a self-serve tool to sit on top of their data lake. Now, they have a data lake in S3. They also use Snowflake as well as Redshift and RDS. They have thousands of people authoring dashboards and many more thousands of consumers for use cases such as fraud analytics, risk analysis, operation reporting, etc. They also embed QuickSight in lots of internal-facing apps for providing deeper analytics to their users. Another customer is Best Western, which is a global hotel chain. Best Western has over 23,000 end users in QuickSight, those being revenue managers and each hotel location. Previously, these users would get dashboards at a weekly or a monthly basis, but now they can get them at real time and can provide access to a much larger set of rich data to a large audience due to QuickSight's non-restrictive pricing. Previously, Best Western used to use an on-prem tool, and then they migrated to Redshift and they connect that with QuickSight, reducing cost by over 50% from their previous tool. You have a lot of options available today on AWS to upskill, whether it's digital training, classroom training, as well as certifications and education program. You can learn at the below address for your training needs. This concludes our presentation. Thank you for watching. You can contact us at the below email address to learn more about how to deploy QuickSight in your workload. Also, we'd like to request you to please complete the session survey. Your data is super important to us to continue to improve our content.